We're going to draw today.
Let's do it!
Guitar! Yeah!
Good evening, fellow chiropractors. I will be channeling a little Fred Barge tonight. Giant versus Pygmy, Chapter 1.
You know, people don't wake up until they get the 2x4 slammed into the side of their head.
Right.
Jeremy, you want to play Twister?
For sure.
Put yellow.
Warning caution is you can't have a lot of it. You have to start small, like a teaspoon. Otherwise, you will get
Disaster pants.
pads.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessman there, you drink my wine. Come and dig my earth. No one will ever love the line. Nobody up in his word. No reason to get excited. The thief is kindly
every 2 weeks now? We might have to be moving the date too because of the band practice. But Adam Del Torto's in the house tonight.
I'm excited to be here.
You came all the way down from Pasadena or something?
Burbank, yeah, close enough.
Beautiful Burbank.
Beautiful downtown Burbank.
Yeah, is it really nice? I've really
It's actually a pretty nice place to live.
All right, so let's get down to business because we got people that are into, and we're excited about the show tonight. I mean, I'm excited about it. You seem like, and he's going to be at DCS, Dead Chiropractic Society, Wednesday night. You can go a little bit down the rabbit hole there.
Can I?
Yeah, because we're not going to be streaming. We might touch a few rabbit hole things tonight just to keep everybody interested.
I'll change it up. If you can't
handle the rabbit hole, if you got good questions about the rabbit hole, you can ask us about that. But you're the kind of the cranial. Why don't you describe what you do?
I'm the cranial guy.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this from a kind of a, because I get ribbed a lot by the armchair chiropractors that sit on the fence that don't practice anymore.
Or the medic practice?
No, not even the super straight guys.
Oh, okay. The vitalistic chiropractor.
Do you ever get flack for people saying this isn't chiropractic?
Never. No, especially when I explain it to them.
Really?
Yeah, because once they understand it, once I explain it to them the way I understand it, it makes sense to them.
Okay, I mean, it makes total sense to me, but you're not adjusting vertebrae, you're adjusting the cranial bones, so.
Right, which is,
like, some chiropractors would also be offended if you adjusted a fibula.
That's true, but see, the thing is, these vitalistic guys understand that this, chiropractors are getting 80% of their patients well by adjusting 20% of the nervous system. Once you tap into that other 80%, they get it. It's like a whole different level of healing.
Yeah, I get it too. Maybe that's my issue. Maybe I need that 80%. You did me at
No, I did. Vegas, and you were a champ too, buddy. I'm telling you.
I might even having a patient come by tonight, and you don't have a problem with that, do you?
Oh my God, I didn't bring the balloons.
Oh shit. Well, you can bring it Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday night for sure.
We were gonna do it on the show, dude.
Oh my God.
What are you
know
thinking?
what? Never again will I go anywhere.
Do we need to
without him.
reschedule with him? I'm just kidding.
I'll come back.
Driving down, it was a good 2 hours or what?
Yeah, there was traffic on the freeway. There was some kind of an accident or something.
Not in California. Come on,
that's all right.
Knows how to drive.
It's worth the drive. Totally worth the drive.
So what's that?
Do you want me to play that video that you were showing?
Sure,
Nick.
yeah. If they want to see what it's all about, that'd be good.
I'm going to play that really quickly.
Okay, that's Nick, everybody. Nick, does everybody know that's you talking in the background? Or? No. It's not Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed, remember Mr. Ed the horse?
Yeah, unfortunately, you and I are old enough to remember Mr. Ed.
I'm going to shut you guys off and just play the video.
Okay.
And then we'll come back.
Let's hear it.
Here we go, folks.
In the quest for radical remedies, one Hollywood doctor is making headway with an unbelievable procedure.
The most common reaction that I get with a patient when I tell them how this procedure works is, "You're going to do what?"
Chiropractor Dr. Adam Del Torto specializes in cranial adjustment to help patients with sinus problems, headaches, and allergies.
The skull is made up of 22 individual bones. What most people don't realize, it's necessary for them to move to allow for the expansion and relaxation of the skull during respiration.
Dr. Adam pioneered a therapy he calls Cranial Facial Release.
This technique incorporates the use of tiny balloons that are carefully inserted in the nose and quickly inflated to open up the breathing passageways and mobilize the bones of the face and cranium.
Balloons, up the nose. Sounds like something your mother warned you about as a kid. Tim Adams is a former college football player who now works with professional athletes as a performance enhancement coach. Tim suffers from a condition known as post-concussion syndrome.
One of my most famous clients had to get out of the league because of it. Could have played probably additional 5 years, but unfortunately at the time I didn't know about this technique.
Okay, we're gonna have you take a deep breath, let it out, and then you're gonna hold it on the second breath. And out, and in, and hold.
You kind of feel some expansion in your face and then a tremendous amount of relief after that.
Most people that come in for cranial facial release technique come in as last resort patients. They've tried everything else first.
This by far is the most potent and powerful adjustment or technique that I've ever experienced. It is the only technique where I had relief.
This procedure should not be mistaken for sinuplasty, which is a medical procedure done under anesthesia, where they actually insert the balloon into the sinus cavity and inflate it. This procedure inserts the balloon into the nasopharynx, which is the opening between the nose and the throat. So it's a completely different procedure.
A series of CFR treatments will set you back around $800, compared to more than $10,000 for a sinuplasty. As a practice goalie for the LA Kings, Paulie Costa often uses his head to block hockey pucks fired at 100 miles an hour.
Needless to say, I had a few headaches, and it's a lot of pressure.
Today is Paulie's first experience with Cranial Facial Release.
2, okay, just relax. Deep breath, and hold it. Oh my God. Are you okay?
Whoa!
Good job.
Dude, that was awesome.
That cracking sound means it worked.
It's basically a chiropractic adjustment for the entire skull.
Ow! Wow! Oh my God! For real, dude! It was like an X game in my head. Was. Totally. Snap, crackle, pop,
Did you
dude.
hear that?
Holy cow.
That was a lot of cracking.
After they've gone through 3 to 4 to 5 series of it, it's a permanent result.
You're awesome. You're the man.
Wow. Holy cow. Oh my God.
Give me some love. The bottom line is that chiropractic works. And in a lot of cases, it's the only thing that works.
All right, I'll see you. Good job.
All right, we're back, dude.
That was it.
Impressive. So that was on what?
The E channel, yeah. That was the video that made me famous.
Yeah, you are pretty famous. Now, do you always dress up
in my
like
own
this?
mind. Just for you, Billy.
All right, I mean, I'm
Only for you.
impressed. And I do have one of my favorite ties I bought from you.
I was
which
gonna
is
wear
the-
it, but I didn't want to be in competition with you. It'd be like, you know.
I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. I kind of jabed on it. So, tell me how you really got started in this. This is not something that you learn in school. It's not something I learned in school, right?
Yeah, no.
So did you learn it from Murphy? Because the first time I saw it was from Murphy.
You know, everybody's been telling me that Dr. Murphy does this procedure, but that's
No,
not
I mean,
where I
I'm
learned
talking
it.
like 20 years ago. I went to a whiplash seminar and he was teaching it.
Which, you know, he's one of the smartest guys on the planet, so for him to be doing
Other
it,
than
it
you.
validates it, yeah.
Yeah.
And you.
Well, please.
Mutual
We're
admiration.
smart about
yeah.
things. We're street smart.
Yeah,
We're not
right,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
I know how to-
genius smart, that guy.
Yeah, he's genius smart. I'm going to give him credit for that. So is Chestnut. So that's why they're two of my favorite speakers. But how did you get into it? I mean, I mean, it's not something like, you know, you just all of a sudden decide I'm going to start sticking balloons up people's noses. And just...
No. You know what happened was when I graduated chiropractic school in 1984, I went to a Parker seminar where they have, you know, 10 or 12 seminars going on at the same time. And someone said they were teaching cranial upstairs. And I was like, oh, I want to know cranial. So I went up there, and they're talking about putting balloons in people's noses and inflating them. And I was like, what? Are you guys insane? And I literally got up and walked out of the seminar.
No!
Yeah, it was just too bizarre for me, too beyond my comprehension.
It's bizarre. There's no question about it, and especially when you have it done.
Oh, my God, yeah, it's a totally different level of adjusting. But
so you're bringing the balloons Wednesday, though.
I'm definitely
I was going to have it done on the show tonight again.
My God, you got a Sphig bulb and a pair of gloves?
I'll wait.
We'll wing it, yeah, see?
No, I'll wait.
See,
I'll
you
wait
had the
down right.
opportunity. No, we'll do it right. So then about 15 years later, one of my buddies, who's a strict Gonstead practitioner, sends me a fax. It was like before email. That's how long ago it was.
I remember those days.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I remember when I first got my first computer, but so it was like...
Was it a 286?
Yeah, it was. That was fast back then. Yeah.
486, and then
I thought I was living high. Right, exactly. And he's like, hey, Mr. Cranial, what do you think about this? Ha, 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 ha. And it was a story about a lady who had fallen off a horse when she was a kid and had post-concussion syndrome, and nothing had helped her. And so she went up and got ballooned by this guy up in Washington, and it totally changed her life. And I was like, oh, I remember this stuff. So I called the guy up and just, I don't know why.
Yeah,
I mean,
how many of those guys that got concussions could probably, I mean, Brad teaches that stuff.
I mean, that's
think,
all.
You know, I think a lot of times people teach there's nothing you can do to treat concussions, like it's just their destiny to be friggin' have all those, whatever the things are in their brain, those, what are they called, gnarls or? Whatever the neurons get all intertwined or something, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But a lot of times people think that there's nothing you can do, and I know that this would probably help a lot of people.
Oh my God, this has been the last resort treatment and the life-saving answer for so many patients. They've tried everything else, before this, and this is the only thing that helped them. Just like that lady. Like if I wouldn't have read that story, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now, because I had totally just forgotten about this treatment. And when I read that story, then it made me call the guy, went up, took the seminar, and oh my God, it's just a whole different level of healing.
Right. So what about brain fog too? You think that would help with that?
Brain fog, post-concussion syndrome, post-stroke, any kind of neurological disorder,
so you've seen,
Parkinson's.
You've seen a lot of Parkinson's. What about Alzheimer's and stuff?
Alzheimer's, anything. Basically, I mean,
brain.
The primary objective of this technique is to optimize brain function. That's what it does. It just optimizes brain function, mobilizes the cranial bones, increases cerebral spinal fluid flow, increases vascular flow, increases venous drainage from the brain. Anything that would optimize central nervous system function, that's what it does.
Yeah, you're hitting it right at the friggin' source, dude.
Yeah,
it's not like
exactly.
you're waiting down a T12 or something, right?
No, we're getting right to
like
where
you said, 80% of what, probably people complain of comes from probably some type of misalignment of cranial bones. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the thing
or
is,
80% of what we do could.
Well, most chiropractors, and being a chiropractor for 33 years, we
You've
both.
Been that long too?
Yeah, I'm an old guy. I've been around.
Your friggin' hair, dude. How old are
That's
you?
a wig. I'm not saying that on the air. It's not.
Come on, dude.
All right, 57 years old.
Okay, so you got out of school earlier than me. Where'd you go to school again?
New York Chiropractic College.
You kind of got that
back
New
in
York
the day.
vibe going on.
Do I?
You got the Italian stallion.
Yeah,
thing going on.
that combined with the New York thing. Yeah. So
you don't have the accent.
I've been working on that.
Have you?
Oh, when I live there, I have the accent full on.
Are we gonna go have like some Italian food one of these nights or what?
Sure. Yeah, let's go do that. Yeah, I'm full blood Italian.
Hispanic,
I'm Italian to the bone.
You are good. All right, so it's life-saving, but let me get to the 80% thing. Explain that to me again. So you say chiropractors, when they work on spine, only affect really 20%, and you're saying this is going to get the last 80%.
Well, yeah, I mean, being a chiropractor, all of us who are chiropractors know the miracles that we experience in our office every day, but we're only adjusting 20% of the nervous system. I mean, primarily concerning ourselves with how the nerve impulse is transmitted. But consider for a moment, if the primary subluxation did not reside in the spine, but at a level higher in the brain, where the original impulse is generated from the source of the impulse. You can adjust the spine all day, but if the original impulse, if the original message at the source of the impulse is generated improperly, if it's an aberrant, distorted message, then it doesn't matter how it's transmitted. You can, it's the original impulse is being produced improperly, then that message is what's going to be transmitted through the spine to every tissue, cell, and organ in the body.
Right. Even with the stuff that Heidi's teaching, Heidi Havoc, it's all about really how the adjustments really affect brain function. But if you've got pressure from what bones do you specifically think that you're adjusting when you're using the balloon technique?
Well, I mean, we're primarily targeting the sphenoid bone, which is like the central bone of the cranium, and it also houses the pituitary gland. So, what we're the primary objective of CFR is to mobilize the cranial bones, because you realize
CFR
every time.
Stands for
Cranial Facial Release. Sorry.
Okay, got it. No, it's good. I'm learning.
But so you want to try to mobilize all the cranial fixations that come from things like birth trauma or head trauma or life or uneven bite force or anything that would cause fixations of the cranium. It impedes the flow of cerebral spinal fluid throughout the brain and spinal cord, which directly affects nervous system function, central nervous system. But so, when we inflate the balloon, but what we're also doing is taking the torque off the dura. And the dura attaches, its anterior attachment is at the sella turcica. And so, the dura completely engulfs the whole pituitary gland, the base of the pituitary. So any kind of torque or tension at that attachment point directly impedes pituitary function. So, you're targeting the primary two governing systems of the body, the nervous system and the endocrine system.
Right.
So, I mean, you're getting at the source
What
of the
about
problem.
the endocannabinoid system? That's
We'll talk about that afterwards. With the CBDs, yeah, I mean, the CBDs, they cross the blood-brain barrier.
Right.
You know, I mean, it decreases inflammation. You know, it's one of the things that totally is, you know, brain food. It basically what the brain needs to function.
It's all right. They'll get it sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
a
don't
fatty
have to.
acid.
Right.
It's one of those things.
It's like you can have fish oil, or you can have the plant oil, whatever one you want. But let me get to this question. How long does it take? I mean, could I learn the technique, and how long does it take you to get a master of it? I mean, is it something you can just immediately learn, or I mean, obviously you got to have some balls to do this technique too.
You got to have some balls to have it done also. You know, I teach it in two levels of seminars. I have a CFR Basic and a CFR Advanced. You don't ever have to take the CFR Advanced. By the time you take the CFR Basic, which is a
You're not a very good salesman. You should say you got to take both of them.
well, you know, I'm not that guy like the car salesman. If you want the car, here's the key.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, by the time you leave, you know, it starts on Friday at noon and goes till Sunday at noon. By the time you leave on Sunday, you'll know everything you need to know about how to incorporate this into your practice.
Okay, and do you practice on each other at the gig?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have to get it. As a matter of fact, that's mandatory. You have to have four days of treatment. Well, you get 4 individual sessions of inflations over the 3-day period, and that's mandatory in order to pass the class and get certified.
Okay, and then, I mean, who's the governing board for whether somebody's certified or not? I mean, is that you?
That's me, but we do, you know, we've just recently been credentialed through Life West University.
Oh,
so
cool.
They've given it their blessing, and also the CCA. We get continuing ed through the CCA, so, you know, they've recognized this as being a viable technique, so it's not just me anymore.
Right, right. And not back to Murphy, but where did we answer where you originally learned it from?
I learned it from a naturopath up in Washington.
What's his name?
His name is Dr. Dean Howell.
Okay.
And,
so it
you know,
wasn't even a chiropractic technique, it was more a naturopathic.
well, he learned it from the original guy, who the pioneer of it, his name is Dr. Richard Stober.
Okay.
And he worked with Dr. Stober. Now, Dr. Stober, you know, he originally, I mean, he mainly treated kids with learning disorders. That was his primary focus.
Perfect.
And specifically Down syndrome kids.
So he helps with Down syndrome.
It helps, yeah, it helps to optimize brain function.
Right,
so
right. Any person with a brain. Right?
Yeah,
right.
Basically, yeah, that's what it does. But that was his big claim to fame, was treating kids with learning disorders, aphasia, delayed speech, delayed learning, you know, Down syndrome kids, and just with miracle results.
All right, so if you're out there and you've got any questions for Dr. Adam Del Torto, please put them in the comments.
There's a question, I think.
I don't see a question. I see comments.
Jane, can you read?
Also, if you would like to, Adam's in the house. Could you guys send some hearts across for Adam, please? Can you do that for Dr. Adam?
I need some love.
There's a question about trigeminal neuralgia.
Oh my God!
How come I'm not seeing that on mine?
One of the
Do I have
most
to refresh it?
successful results we have is with trigeminal neuralgia. I've got a patient out in Catalina right now. She tried everything. She tried the nerve ablation.
Oh, come on, dude. What,
everything
people still
in the
doing that
world.
shit? I had a guy
And-
come to me with nerve ablation. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, they'll do anything. Those trigeminal neuralgia patients, they are so desperate.
Oh, I
Their
can
lives
imagine.
revolve around that. It's the most painful, you know, the most painful entity that you could live with. And this is one of the things that helps it almost, I'm going to say, a high percentage of the time. You don't want to ever say 100%, but a very high percentage of the time. After everything else has failed. So it's...
You know, that's what I say all the time, because you get a lot of... I've been getting a lot of flack lately. I don't know if
You?
Yeah, me.
Hard to believe.
And let me say what, I mean, I love the flack and I love all the bad press. It's good press, because anytime you talk about something. But we had our best week in the past 15 years this last week. So whatever you're doing, you're spreading all that negative stuff out. It's working. So keep it up. Just whatever you're doing. I
Just
love
keep
trolls.
talking about Billy.
Yeah, make sure
That's
you spell
it.
my name right. They call me Mr. Moss. It's Dr. DeMoss.
DeMoss.
D-E capital M-O-S-S. Thank
He's
you.
a Pacha Galoop, just like me.
I'm really interested in learning the technique. When's your next course?
My next seminar in the United States is in November in Burbank.
Beautiful Burbank.
Beautiful downtown Burbank.
You always have to preface it with Burbank. I don't know. I learned that on some show.
It's actually very beautiful.
Was that the Rona Martin laughing? They used to say that.
Wasn't it?
Or was it Johnny Carson?
Yeah, Johnny Carson. I think it was a Tonight Show. Beautiful downtown Burbank.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So.
And it is. It's very beautiful. It's nestled right up there against the mountains, and it's like its own little oasis right up there. It's beautiful.
And then Candace Ireland, who hangs out with Brandon, says,
"Oh, I love her, my friend."
Men. Okay,
Candace, I love her.
Who
Hi, Candace.
The only time she made me eat this green shit once, it wasn't pot, but it was.
Sure?
I think it was called Kamut, Kamut or something. And I put this stuff in my mouth, and I swear, and then I had to speak afterwards, and I had like. I couldn't even talk afterwards. So thank you, Candace, for
cotton
saying
mouth
that.
from it.
Yeah, and Brandon's on the call too.
Oh, Brandon also one of my favorite people.
Who?
Brandon and Candace. How you doing, guys? We're going to Idaho together.
Next
We're
question.
taking a trip.
We gotta get serious.
Okay,
right now.
let's get serious.
Let's get serious, man. I want to know how it helps with depression.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to claim that we're specifically targeting depression, but anytime you optimize brain function, increase cerebrospinal fluid flow, increase vascular flow, get some CBDs in your system.
I was going to say that.
And,
get your upper cervicals adjusted too. I mean, it's all, it's a
absolutely.
Be a little more eclectic than you're just, one bone. I get it.
I'm very glad you said that, because that's a very important component to this technique. That's the thing that differentiates us from everybody else who's doing balloons, is that we adjust full spine before clearing everything below the occiput before we even get into the cranium. And that's a very important thing to do.
You got to open up the frickin' floodgates.
That's it. You know what? Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there's other people that do this outside of chiropractic.
There are, but there's other entities within chiropractic that are doing it. But yeah, Dr.
Like
Dean
what?
Howell. Dean Howell's doing it. He calls it neurocranial restructuring. He is very anti-chiropractic. He wants no chiropractic to be integrated into his technique, which is one of the reasons that I kind of separated from him.
Okay, so is he a chiro?
No, he's a naturopath.
Oh, he's kind of a dickwit. All right, sorry.
No, well,
Well, what's his chip? I mean.
I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he taught me how to do this, and I'm sure he helps a lot of
I
people.
didn't mean to say that, but I just sometimes don't understand when you want to restrict your. It's like, why would you want to keep this hidden from people?
Well, he learned it from a chiropractor originally.
Right.
That's
he stole it from us, and then he says, "No, I don't want to share it with any other chiropractors." Basically.
Well, I was so adamant about us not including chiropractic, and integrating it into his treatment that. And then I'd go back to my office and then start doing chiropractic first. I'd block people, check the sacrum, SB plus, SB minus, clear everything below the occiput before I started adjusting the cranium, because that's what chiropractors do, right? And I could have stopped right there, because I'm still getting 80% of the patients well just by doing that.
Right.
Then I start tapping into that other 80%, and it's like biblical level healing. It's a whole different level of healing up there.
Now, how long does it really take you to become proficient in this technique? Does
Seriously.
anybody else have any questions out there?
Yes. Yep. James Johnston. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't. It's not working here. I need a phone. I need to get a phone.
Nose and his septum is mangled. Can you still do the adjustment?
Depends. I mean, if it's healed, if it's a healed septum, then yes. If it's a fresh fracture, then I would let it heal for at least a couple months before I'd go in there. But that's primarily what people come to me for, is breathing disorders and deviated septums. I mean, I've been working with a lot of the MMA fighters. I got.
What about what's his name? That was bad-mouthing us.
Who's bad-mouthing us?
What was his name?
You and I?
No, not you. Me.
Chiropractic?
Yeah, chiropractic.
It's because they just don't know.
Can't remember his name. Oh, Joe Rogan.
Joe, I don't know if was he really bad-mouthing us,
Yeah,
or
he just raked us over the coals, dude.
I saw your post about that. I mean, people like that.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, any publicity is good publicity. He was talking about us.
And
And see, the thing is, like 50 years ago, 20 years ago, people would hear that and it would actually really stick with them. Now people look at that and they go, how
Come on,
ridiculous,
dude.
Catch up with the times,
Throw the F up, you
Hey,
know what I'm saying?
newsflash,
It's like-
the
right.
world is not flat anymore,
Well, some
so they
people think
know.
it is, so.
Yeah, some people do, so it won't resonate with them. But more than anything, people are looking at him and thinking how ridiculous he is, that he's that ignorant to the benefits of
he had
chiropractic.
one, he got hurt by a chiropractor or something. He hurt, and then he's out to whatever. It's like
I will run into Joe
we
Rogan.
need to have a debate with Joe Rogan. I think that would be good.
Actually,
But I think probably wouldn't. He'd be afraid to have us on his show. I think because
well, we may be closer than you think. I want to send a shout out to my good friend Dr. John Petrick out in Vegas. He's out there ballooning all the UFC fighters. He's on the Ultimate Fighting show. He just ballooned Uriah Faber and Cody Colbrandt, who just beat Dominic Cruz for the championship belt. So he's right in the mix. He's right there, you know, front and center. He's getting a lot of attention. Very proud of that guy. He's the man. So
results speak. Man.
That's it.
You know what? It's like we got the research too, but the thing is, like I always say, if the MDs could fix anybody, they wouldn't come to see us. I mean, what are you going to do? Put somebody on freaking? They got their bones are all mangled or they're out of alignment. You're going to put them on drugs? I mean, it's not a chemical problem. It's a structural problem.
Exactly, and they don't have time to really focus on the cause of the problem. They basically are just treating the symptoms that are a result of, you know, dysfunction in the body, and that's all they're taught. It's not their fault. It's not like they're purposely trying to hurt people. I mean, they are taught if this is the symptom, this is the drug for the symptom.
They're taught
medicine.
An old
that's what it's
school
called.
Antiquated paradigm.
Right.
That's just, it's a dying frigging. I mean, in the future, in the next, and I heard this at the at Dave Asprey's gig, is that there was an MD that said it in 10 years, most pharmaceutical drugs are going to be considered obsolete. People aren't that stupid anymore. They're going to take a drug for a structural, like you got back pain. It's not because you have a shortage of friggin' heroin in your body. It's because there's something wrong and you need to address that. And I don't care if it's depression, what it is. It's just there's a reason why you're sick, and it's not because of a shortage of drugs. And if you want to live in that old antiquated sinking ship of, and again, I'm going to say they do an amazing job for crisis care. But again, sometimes I even wonder about some of that stuff. I mean, you look at some of the treatments for cancer anymore. I mean, that's just as barbaric.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's because Big Pharma owns it. You know, I mean,
owns it and they own the media.
And there's no money in the cure. There's only money in the treatment.
Right.
So why would they ever want you to get better?
It's the same thing with vaccines. Why in their right mind do you think we would try to promote health in kids when all the vaccines create all the myriad of things that they treat in pediatric conditions?
Absolutely. All they're doing is
you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that shit. I mean, look at the average health of kids today. It's pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, was there ever ADHD or attention deficit syndrome or any of those things back when we were kids?
No.
You know, I mean,
I didn't know one kid that took those bong rips off the albuterol inhaler. I mean, did you? I mean, I didn't know one kid. Now half the kids over at one of the local high schools, I can't mention the name because I know one of the nurses there, says half the kids are on some type of psychotropic drug or some type of drug every stinking day.
You know, and they got
results speak.
and people realize that too. I mean, like I said, getting back to Joe Rogan, when he starts dissing chiropractic, or you know, he had a negative experience with a chiropractor. How many negative experiences have people had with MDs?
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
I mean, it's probably the majority.
One person gets hurt from chiropractic, it's all over the world.
Right? Yeah.
But they can kill. There's the number 3 leading cause of death in the United States.
Just got a raise. That's right. It was number 4, and they just gave it a raise to number 3.
You know what I always say?
That's
though?
true.
They're actually number 1 because they actually give people the falsified belief that they're actually doing something to their health when they take a drug, so they can continue their same bullshit suicidal behavior that caused their heart disease or their sugar problem or their obesity or whatever cancer is. It's because you're living a shitty lifestyle, and what people do is they never look in the mirror and actually correct the problem. They just take a drug, which...
And you know what? There's an old saying, you can't medicate your way out of problems that you behaved yourself into.
Dane Donohue?
Dane Donohue. Thank you, Dane.
I got a question over here. Jane.
Yeah.
Yep. So Vanessa Byrne has a friend who has migraines, mouth swells, and gets slight blackouts. His doctors have no answers. Would this be good for him?
You know, migraines just are one of those things that I have a high success rate with without doing balloons. Again, chiropractic first.
Right.
So I probably wouldn't start there with her. You know, I would say, let's try this approach first. Much more conservative approach, way less expensive, and the success rate I have with migraines is like almost 90%. And that's after they've tried everything else first. But you know, the answer to the question is yes. I mean, it would definitely be a consideration as part of the treatment protocol if the conservative chiropractic approach didn't work.
Oh, sorry. Jim Lindell wants to know where to get training and is certification required?
I'm the one that's teaching it now. We've just started teaching it. Yeah, thanks.
What's your website? Maybe you could just
It's www.cranialfacialrelease.com. That's if you're a doctor. If you're a patient, it's www.cranialfacialrelease.com. See the Doc, just the letter C, thedoc.com, and that's where the patients go for information. But either, I think the Cranial Facial Release website will take you to the See the Doc website if you're a patient with a question.
What's DS?
DS. Where is DS?
Oh, Down syndrome.
Oh, Down syndrome.
Okay, good.
I don't have my glasses on. I can't see that.
Parkinson's, autism, and MS.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just want to make it clear that we're not targeting the treatment of any one of those neurological disorders.
That's what we try to stress to people understand. It's like what we do is we're just moving some bones off of nerves, and the body's going to heal itself.
That's right, exactly. Just optimizing the functioning of the primary governing system of the body, which is the nervous system.
I get people to try to understand that with not only the osseous adjustments we do on full spine, but also with teaching people how to eat right. Or supplements. It's not like this supplements for that disease. We're just going to give the body what it needs, and it's going to sort this. I mean, it created you from 2 cells and knows what the
optimal health. Right, exactly. Optimize health. That's what it's all about.
I mean, that's what I don't get. But how can you have any question about what we do? I mean, and then
Well, it's because they're intimidated by us. I mean, the thing is that chiropractic started getting positive results from its inception.
Right.
Way back, in September 18th, 1895, right? I mean, and people took notice.
Right.
But not everybody was excited about it. As a matter of fact, some people were threatened by it, which, was back in the day were the MDs, because they were losing patients to us.
Right.
I mean, thank God for the flu of 1918, right? Otherwise, chiropractic would probably be extinct.
Right.
That was what really turned the corner for chiropractic, when the MDs were so overwhelmed in the hospitals with patients that they couldn't treat them all. So they'd go through with charcoal and they would X them out, like put X's on their forehead, and because those patients were too far gone, and those patients went out and sought alternative care, and they went to chiropractors and osteopaths. And did you know that we saved 70% of those patients?
Right, I knew that.
And that the lowest death rate in the whole planet was Davenport, Iowa, because B.J. Palmer was adjusting people.
I always say results speak, but you might, I don't know, maybe they could have come up with a vaccine real quick.
Yeah, we beat them to it.
Yeah.
We had a better
the
vaccine.
Thing is, if you understand,
right here,
it's
right here, over
intelligence.
Here.
That
Exactly.
Vaccine, right. Your body is wired to be healthy when it's not.
The smartest doctor on the planet right there.
All right, is there any contraindications to this technique?
I mean, very few, but, if you're on... like blood thinners. Well, no, actually, I have a lot of cocaine users. They've come in and they're the ones that benefit from it. Not present day cocaine users, but history of.
They probably get a little buzz out of it, huh?
Yeah, it kind of.
They don't want to go in and out.
All that stuff comes out of their soft tissue, and they don't even have to go buy it anymore. But no, but mostly people that have had any kind of cranial surgery where they have plates that cross suture lines, or anybody that's on Coumadin or any kind of blood thinner, because the old saying, first of all, do no harm.
Right.
And if you get somebody bleeding that's on blood thinners, and you can't stop that bleeding, I mean, the benefits of CFR are going to be not equal to bleeding out.
Sounds like messy. They would be a messy thing too.
But other than that, there's really very few contraindications. I mean, it's been around since the early 1900s. I did not invent this. It was it was originally called bilateral nasal specific.
Bilateral nasal specific.
BNS, or now it's been reduced or shortened to nasal specific, which is what Jim Murphy calls it. Dr. Stober was the pioneer of it back in the 60s and 70s, I mean, with miracle results. And then it just kind of got lost in the shuffle. Nobody, was really pursuing it or anything. And actually, I wouldn't have even picked it up and carried it to this level either if it wasn't for the E! Channel doing that TV show on me. I mean, I was just minding my own business, adjusting spines, cracking skulls, doing my own thing. And one of my patients came to me, she's like, yeah, you do that weird balloon thing, don't you? She goes, yeah, we want to do a TV show on it. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And I thought it was just going to air in and around LA, but it went global.
Dude!
All over. I mean, the first call I got was from South Africa. Mate, where can we learn that? From patients want to know where they could get it done.
Right.
And doctors want to know where they can learn it.
People are actually really trained in the technique.
In my version of it?
No, but just say overall.
With nasal specific and NCR and all that, there's probably, I don't know, maybe
1,000?
I think less than that, maybe about half of that number.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got probably about 150 that I've trained, and that includes.
Do you know Matt Jackson?
He
says if you need a chiropractor in Salt Lake, I can help.
I have 2 chiropractors in Salt Lake that do this. One is Josh Phelps, and the other guy just took my seminar too.
Got a little brain fog.
Oh my God, let me.
I get the balloon out.
He's an Asian guy, but he's
Asian.
really good.
Can
I
you
think
say that?
actually
Can
I
you
have.
still say that?
Is that a derogatory comment?
I don't know.
It's like saying you're Italian, right?
No, it's not the same. Asian take that seriously.
Asian? Oh, really?
Yeah.
What would you refer to him as?
You can't say Italian. You got to call him. I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian.
Hey,
Can we joke anymore?
Absolutely.
Everybody's
I think
so
so.
uptight anymore. Have some fun, man.
That's right.
Sorry, I just put the mic. I pegged the mic right now. Jesus, everybody's so friggin' uptight. You can't say anything.
You know what? Go to the website, cranialfacialrelease.com, and we have all the doctors. Click on Find a Doctor, and we have all the doctors listed globally, because a lot of these doctors are in Europe. I just got back from Germany, where I taught 22 doctors there. Last year I was in Holland. I taught about half a dozen doctors then, and I'm telling you, Europe is eating this up. I just got invited to go to the first ever Axiom seminar.
Was that Dibley's kid?
Dibley, yeah.
good.
Michael Dibley and Jonathan Veradame.
Yeah.
And those two guys, I'm telling you, they're way ahead of their time. I spent a weekend with those guys up in Norway, and I just wanted to have a pen and paper in my hand all the time. I don't know where they come up with their whole philosophy and the way they articulate chiropractic, but those two guys are the future leaders of our profession.
Cool.
And anybody, I'm telling you, you want to really catch fire, go to Axiom. It's going to be in Belgium.
It's in November.
Actually, it's August 24th, 25th, 26th. And
that's good.
Yeah, definitely go. It's the first ever. It's going to be a pioneer event.
Too, though.
Everybody needs to go to Cal Jam. I'm telling you, Cal Jam.
Even the general public.
Cal Jam sets the standard for all conventions in chiropractic
In the
on the
world.
globe.
No,
on the globe. It used to be Parker, I got to say that, but Cal Jam far surpassed it. I mean, you want to catch fire, there's an old saying, you catch fire, people love to watch you burn. You want to catch fire, go to Cal Jam.
All right. There's no question about it. And the reality is there's not anybody even really, in my opinion, remotely even close to what we're doing.
You know, with the lineup of speakers that you have,
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
the whole everything about it. There's not like
everything about it, the energy.
Yeah.
I love Cal Jam. I will never miss Cal Jam. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we got to get you up on the. But you have kind of a debut coming up here at the shop.
I'm looking forward. I'm very excited
what are you bringing
about
to that? Tell me what you're bringing.
I'm bringing my A game to that.
I know.
And I'm bringing my balloons.
Okay.
So bring the cameras.
We're letting you go as long as you want.
Oh wow. Okay. I really shortened it down.
Well, you don't have to shorten it down, but you said a couple.
Shortened it down to 15 hours. So
yeah. So we'll be here.
We'll be out of here by Sunday.
And you can get you think so?
No.
What time?
Definitely not by Sunday.
Thursday?
No.
We'll be out by Thursday?
I took a 4-hour lecture and shortened it down to about, I'm going to say 75 minutes. I knew I was going to run over a little, but.
Oh, and if you can't be here at the clubhouse Wednesday night with the camaraderie of your fellow brothers and sisters in chiropractic, because it's nothing better on TV. You can also watch it on the network at caljamnetwork.org. And I still don't understand why somebody would, for $7 a month, you get all, and that's going up. We're gonna
$7 a month?
I know it's ridiculously stupid. Cheap. It's going to go up next month because Nick,
That's giving it away.
Nick needs a little extra cash in his pocket.
We're gonna give Nick a
No,
raise.
because it's a steal at $7 a month. I mean, I don't know, I just listen to people sometimes that maybe think different than me, and I'm starting to think that maybe that was too cheap.
Way too cheap.
Yeah, but we were trying to make it, so the students could get it, and so it was kind of, we didn't want to have it too much. But the students could you could each pitch in $1, get 15 together, and then you'd have money left for your beer.
And that's what they're spending it on. You're saving them. You're saving them. You're buying them all beer, Billy, is what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
What a guy.
Or whatever.
It's legal. It's legal now.
Yeah, well, here in California. All right, anything in closing? Because I got band practice after this.
Oh, we got to get going. Well,
no, we don't have to get going. But does anybody else have any more questions for Dr. Adam? You can ask me a question too. Like, why am I so flipped out? Because I love what I do. It's okay. Hey,
Brandon,
did we ever
Candace.
get any hearts across the stage? I didn't see that.
I didn't get any love.
Did we get any hearts? Can you send some more hearts, everybody? It's a little delay here. Adam wants a heart, and we're down to 20 people. Gee whiz.
I need some love.
All right, they'll come. Hearts! I'll put my hand up so I know when I'm asking for the hearts.
You got to do the Italian way.
And don't forget to like the video. I think we're almost done, unless you have any more points you want to hit.
I just want to say I'm very excited to have been here tonight. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to tune in on Wednesday night because it is going to be just a whole different way of thinking.
Show up.
Yeah, show up, which I've actually called everybody I know to show. So I'm loading it up. I'm bringing 3 people myself. But it'll give you a whole new way of looking at chiropractic and chiropractic adjusting and cranial work. This is the next level of adjusting. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Okay. Anything else?
I love Billy D, and I appreciate him having me here tonight.
Are you going to do any rabbit hole on? Because we didn't go down the rabbit hole at all tonight. Because you
know,
and I have hung out late nights, and at like the Wave. You going to the Wave? Just to hang out with me, just go have
I'm not going to say no. The only thing is I have that advanced seminar the following weekend, so I kind of got to make sure I'm on my game for that too.
You will be, dude. You're a professional.
But the Wave, the Wave is they're talking about brain function. Every lecture that they have is going to revolve around optimal brain function. So it's how can I not be there? So yes, I will be there.
All right. I'd like to be invited back to the Wave. I think I blew my debut at the Wave though.
You don't blow your debut anywhere, Billy.
Too radical.
The thing is, your energy, even if the words don't roll off your tongue as smoothly as they usually do, just your energy gets people motivated, and just being in your presence,
I got it. Well, thank you for that. So, all right, signing off, Adam Del Torto.
Next Monday they can.
And then next Monday we're going to play Pie Face, I guess, right now. Right. 15. Does this take more than 15 minutes? Because Grumpy Matt's going to be here, my brother. Everybody knows Grumpy Matt, my brother. He's not watching, so we can talk about him. All right. I don't know how to play Pie Face. Do you?
Well, I don't think he'll be grumpy if he sticks his face in that. How can you be?
The whipped cream not included. That's good to know.
Oh, I gotta get one of these.
Okay. Signing off, Billy D. Billy D live with Dr. Adam Del Torto, all the way from beautiful Burbank, and the Cranial
Facial Release. Look it up.
CFR. Not the central.